I've been in Bitcoin for 13 years, okay? I've been in Bitcoin a long time. I've seen Bitcoin go down 50%, 50, in one day, in 6 hours. I've seen Bitcoin drop in half. So when it goes from 120 to 105, that's normal for me, okay? But it's not for everybody. And I get that. I relate to that. There's empathy there, okay? And so what I've said to you guys is that don't think of it as a weakness. I know that there was a moment where gold's going up and Bitcoin's going down and everyone's freaking out and Peter Schiff is dunking on us and all this stuff. And my message was, relax. Bitcoin's working. Why is it working? What are you talking about, Jack? It's going down. It's not working. No, it is working. Because what we want Bitcoin to be is the best reflection of the truth.
Price drops grab attention, but they don't reveal the storm that's building. In Bitcoin, volatility isn't panic. It's pressure before the breakout. Every dip sends critics circling, desperate to declare it finished. But those moments aren't death rattles. They're the countdown before the blast. Bitcoin was never meant to be safe, predictable, or polite. It was built to expose the truth hiding beneath the noise. Jack Mallers calls it straight. The protocol is doing exactly what it was designed for. He's seen 50% drops vanish overnight and never flinched because he understands what's coming. When gold glitters and Bitcoin slides, the uninformed see weakness. But Mallers sees strength, a system quietly coiling before release. Bitcoin isn't reacting to the market, it's preparing to rewrite it. According to Mallers, the truth isn't smooth, and Bitcoin doesn't pretend it is. Its price is the sound of reality breaking through distortion. It doesn't promise comfort, it promises clarity. And as the year ends, that clarity is about to explode across the global stage. Prepare yourselves, the Bitcoin bombshell is coming.
We want Bitcoin to be the best expression of the world, of what's going on. Because at the end of the day, I want Bitcoin to be the best expression of currency debasement, the best expression of the times, the best expression of fiat liquidity plus technology. Because if it is, it's going to be the best invention of our lifetimes. It's going to be the money for all. It's going to collateralize the global financial system. If it's not, something else is. And so the cost of that, guys, is volatility. You know the saying, volatility is a reward, a gift to the faithful. The cost of being the truth is volatility because the world's volatile. There's a lot going on. These superpowers are clashing. And so when Bitcoin goes down like that, I know it sucks, but it's working. And so as soon as these two world powers, and Bessett gets on TV and says, we're good, we're all good, everyone relax, Bitcoin goes right back up. And we're right back. Look, my next slide, guys, if Bitcoin closes at 115, 116 this month, it'll be the highest monthly close ever. Ever. I know it's not all-time high, but we didn't close at all-time high. Do you understand? Like this. Through the nose, out through the mouth. It's stay humble. It's stack sats. It's lower time preferences. You own the best reflection of currency debasement. You own a truth machine. So as the world fights and figures itself out, Bitcoin's going to travel with it. But that's a good thing because on the other side of all of this, Bitcoin's going way higher than anything else like it always has. Look at this chart. Look at this chart. And I told you guys, the US is bluffing, China's bluffing. Trump has been very clear, November 1st, November 1st, November 1st, November 1st. What do you guys think is going to happen between now and November 1st? It's going to be a game of tug of war. It's going to be a game of bullshit. It's going to be a game of nonsense. Can't print productivity, you're going to print narratives. These guys are in the business of printing nonsense, printing currency paper and printing narratives. Okay, so because I say the same thing so many times, I thought this clip, I've been listening to this podcast recently. These guys are hilarious. I think they're good. Shout out to them. Felix, Quinn, Tyler. I think he's hilarious. And I love his opinions. So this was it was same thesis, different words from a different guy, but I thought it was great. And I want to play it for you guys. This is exactly how I feel.
I'm just trying to arrive first principles. I can't just sit here and say 4-year cycle, I'm done.
Okay,
I think what happened with gold is, I think first off, the 2-year yield and Bitcoin are the two most important assets to watch globally. I think that's what I figured out is like, I think Bitcoin leads a lot of the plumbing problems and also a lot of the geopolitical problems. When you think about like its ownership is global, you have a real time price. Like there's I think it was discounting was a lot of this China trade stuff where a lot of, let's simplify it. I think gold was China buying and basically giving a shot across the bow to Trump and saying, hey, we're going to dump your treasuries and we're going to use this new collateral for our yuan backed gold, gold currency. And then, we're also going to smash your Bitcoin because we have a lot of miners or whatever supply in China. This is obviously a little bit conspiracy theory, but like, regardless, these are two big behemoths trying to battle for what the next 21st century reserve collateral is. And we're seeing these forces go back and forth. And, in a lot of senses, I do think crypto is going to probably take off here into year end as these liquidity, the US unleashes liquidity, but you need the two behemoths to come to some sort of agreement before I think it does. Because there's
that looks likely for the end of the month. Like they're going to have the summit. Xi Jinping and Trump are meeting, and that's. I think that like 2 weeks ago we're talking about right after the crypto washout in October 10th. It's like yes, time to slowly buy, but that was triggered by this aggression between Trump and Xi Jinping. But you know that the summit is not till the end of the month, so you have this moment in between where they can both escalate to increase their power or their bargaining constraints going into the meeting, and then they can de-escalate from there. So that they have nothing to lose by escalating further until the summit. And now we're almost at the summit.
That is exactly. So that's my point was just like Bitcoin was sniffing out a lot of those issues, and so was gold at the same time. It's like those bargaining chips. This is way bigger than we think it is, this period of time. And we're probably going to look back and it's going to set the ground, the rules for the next, like after World War II, we had a bunch of like rules for the global economy. We're in the midst of this renegotiation of global social contract. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
It's the same opinion, different words, but I love that clip and I couldn't agree more. First of all, that last sentence, I've been saying, guys, the gravity of this moment is massive. The old world order is over. The rules-based order of we're the world reserve currency issuer, and if you don't like it, we're going to fly to where you are and drop a bomb on your head and ask you how much you like it. That's over. And a lot of the reason China won't give us the rare earths, China specified we won't give you guys military qualified rare earths specifically. Not because we want to shut your country down and have society come to a screeching halt. We want to prevent you from creating the weapons that get pointed at our forehead. So the old world order, the rules-based order, that's over. We're living through right now the future of society. What's it going to look like? And the coolest part is for the first time ever, we have a choice, you and I, the people. Satoshi gave us a choice. We're at the bargaining table. We get to act. Appreciate how cool that is. We have a life raft. We have a monetary network. We have a monetary policy. And so when I go to bed every night, when I wake up in the morning, the question is super simple. What do I want the future to be? Do I want the future to be gold? Sure, is gold better than US treasuries? Unquestionably. There's no doubt about that. Do I want the future to be based on gold? No. Gold already failed us. Gold doesn't have a monetary network. Gold's monetary networks is us humans. So gold needs to be concentrated with a government, with a company, with a bank, with a central bank in order to achieve transaction finality globally in a society that's run digitally. Gold has failed us, and I have no reason. We can't make gold better. We found gold, and it is what it is. So the fact that gold can't get better gives me no reason to believe that it won't fail us again. When I look at our options and the fact that I now have a choice, I choose Bitcoin. But appreciate the moment and value the fact that you have an option.
Bitcoin isn't just reacting to markets, it's front-running global chaos. As superpowers clash and narratives spin, Bitcoin quietly reflects the truth beneath it all. This isn't just volatility, it's a signal that the old world order is unraveling. For the first time, individuals have a choice in how the future is shaped. Gold had its shot and failed. Bitcoin is the life raft. The question now is simple. Do you want control, or do you want freedom secured by code? The 4-year cycle is dead, and the great repricing has begun. While governments print narratives and dollars, Bitcoin quietly steps into the role of global collateral. The old order is breaking down, and institutions know it. That is why JP Morgan now accepts Bitcoin as collateral. This isn't just a market trend, it's a monetary shift. As fiat systems flail and geopolitical tension escalates, Bitcoin isn't just surviving, it's positioning itself as the foundation of whatever comes next. Are you paying attention? Let's watch more clips from the interview.
And again, if Bitcoin closes like around where it is today, highest monthly close ever. The 4-year cycle to me, like done, it's over. Like I'm just thinking first principles, I'm thinking rationally. There's so much liquidity that has to come. They think there's going to be, the market's pricing in 3 Fed cuts before the year is over. It's about to be Halloween. The amount of money that has to be printed. These guys are talking about wartime financing to reindustrialize the United States of America. They're talking about basically combining the Fed with the Treasury. We're talking about fiscal dominance. And I'm supposed to be bearish on Bitcoin because of a 4-year theory? What? No. Call me crazy. Call me super cycle. Maybe I'll regret it. Doubt it. Do I think the US should reindustrialize? Yeah. Do I think the US should stop being the world reserve currency or at the very least debase its debt? Yeah, 100%. Do I think the US is doing the right thing and leaning into Bitcoin, leaning into digital? We are the country of innovation, of the internet, of technology. Yeah, 100%. Do I think it's right to gaslight the American people and say we had no problem when they were taking your jobs, when they were crushing your real wages, when we were using China to strengthen the dollar, to strengthen Washington, to strengthen Wall Street? China was paying my bonus. I had no problem when they were doing that, but now I have a problem. Someone has to call out the bullshit. Give me a break. This is why we Bitcoin, so that I don't have to sit around and buy into this garbage. Absolute and complete garbage. And by the way, this guy sounds pretty angry. Not me. I sound angry too, but I think my anger is justified. This guy, I think, is in the anger. The CTO of Palantir, I would say, is in the anger stage of grief. I would say Besant has left anger and he's entered bargaining. But you guys, look at where we're going. I bring this slide up every week. The US started in denial. We're going to cut our way out with Doge. We're going to implement tariffs and we're going to kill China. We got the leverage. We're America. We've got Elon Musk. Elon all of a sudden starts tweeting that our president is a pedophile. The CTO of Palantir all of a sudden is upset. China is killing us and murdering us out of nowhere. And then Besant starts to bargain. We're going to make a deal. It's all good. Take the tariffs off the board. No problem. No problem. And then comes the depression. Oh, wait. Our only way out is to print. How are we going to get reelected? How are we going to explain this to the American people? We spent years going to war in the Middle East. We spent $9 trillion. What did that get us? Who's going to realize that loss? And then there'd be acceptance. We're the US, land of the free, home of the brave, innovators, technologists. We're going to use tools like the internet, AI, and Bitcoin. And we're going to build the future everyone wants to be a part of through distributed networks, through technology, through cryptography. We'll accept it. And that's a great place. We don't need to bully everybody with the world reserve currency. That's not our place. We'll produce our own stuff, we'll get back to proof of work, and we'll live through our founding principles, and we'll accept it. But I would say, depending on who you're talking to, we're all past the denial, right? The Economist says China's winning. The Palantir CTO, why is he so... If China wasn't a threat, do you think he'd be all wound up? Probably not. And this guy's the CTO of Palantir. I'd say he's been in some classified meetings, don't you? He probably knows some stuff you and I don't know. Don't you think so? I do. That guy sounds angry. That guy's like, God damn it. This job was paying me a big bonus. My equity was vesting. Now all of a sudden, I got to deal with China. Cut off their fentanyl. He sounds angry. Besant's bargaining. We'll get to acceptance. We'll get there. They're going to print their way through depression. Sad boys, going to have to print. We'll continue to check on the stages of grief. And this, Besant goes out and tweets, gold price rising has helped us substantially. Guys, acceptance, bargaining. This is not anger anymore. This is not anger anymore. And this tweet, We run an annual $900 billion deficit with China. China is receiving $900 billion, and we can clearly see they are less inclined to recycle those dollars into US treasuries. Instead, they sell US dollars to buy gold, bidding up the gold price. China doesn't run an $800 billion deficit with anyone, surpluses in fact. Therefore, there is no country out there looking to sell $800 billion of yuan to buy gold. Therefore, the gold yuan gets bid up less than the gold dollar price does. Voila! Over time, you've just set a new forex rate for dollar yuan. One that means a lot weaker dollar and a lot stronger yuan. Guys, the great repricing. Reality is getting repriced in gold and Bitcoin terms. The yuan is too weak. The dollar's too strong. Gold and Bitcoin are too cheap. Bitcoin specifically is way too cheap. Would you rather own the Bitcoin network or Nvidia? It shouldn't be a question. The great repricing. Okay, next. The battle of reserve collateral rages on. So when we think about collateralizing the financial system, what's going to underpin all of us trading our collective time and energy? Well, the fact that JP Morgan came out and said they're going to allow Bitcoin as collateral is a massive deal. This is the biggest bank in the US, the most nationalized bank in the United States of America. They're now treating Bitcoin as collateral. Guys, that's a huge deal. Collateral means the only other real forms of collateral at scale in the world have been US treasuries and gold, primarily. I mean, obviously there's other stuff, but this is huge. This positions Bitcoin the way BlackRock, JP Morgan, and the US government. Think about it. BlackRock, their most successful ETF ever. The United States has a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And now JP Morgan is treating Bitcoin as collateral. Don't let these headlines pass you by without appreciating them.
Bitcoin doesn't wait for the Fed. It watches, calculates, and front runs. As the Federal Reserve prepares to cut rates and potentially end its quantitative tightening program, Bitcoin hovers around $109,000. Quietly digesting the macro signals and waiting for the next catalyst. Traders are tuned in to Jerome Powell's every word, but beneath the surface, the markets are pricing in something far more significant than a rate cut. This is about the slow-motion collapse of a monetary system stretched to its limits. Institutional inflows into Bitcoin ETFs remain strong. Over $200 million flowed in on Tuesday alone. A clear signal that smart capital is rotating out of traditional safe havens and into hard digital assets. This shift aligns with what Jack Mallers has emphasized repeatedly. The 4-year cycle is no longer the dominant narrative. What matters now is monetary reality. As the United States embraces fiscal dominance, wartime-scale spending, and inflationary sacrifice, Bitcoin is becoming the clearest expression of that breakdown. Bitcoin's fixed supply, global ownership, and resistance to manipulation make it a natural benchmark in a world full of noise. While central banks manage perception through interest rates and press releases, Bitcoin operates on code. It reflects value without distortion. It does not ask for trust. And in the face of systemic uncertainty, that simplicity is its superpower. What we are witnessing is not just a rally, it is a repricing of the future, and Bitcoin is leading the way. As we wrap up, do you agree that volatility proves Bitcoin is working, not failing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Share this video and hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.